Baltimore police officer who found guilty of molesting children at his wife's daycare. I don't know if you guys heard about a story where a wife shot her husband because of a daycare situation. Almost like maybe going to be 4 years to 5 years ago. Well, they recently just found him guilty. An ex-police officer, people who were supposed to serve and protect, was fondling children or molesting children at the daycare. And I want to give you guys the backstory. I want to give you guys the backstory of the charges that occur. Actually, 2 years, like I said, it's been happening, going through trial for a while. And we wasn't sure what was going to happen, but obviously they found him guilty and stuff like that. I remember they did lock up the wife because the wife shot him and everything. And all of that story combined in one people. So we want to, his name is James Weems. Okay, like I said, he's a retired police officer accused of molesting children at his wife's daycare. So let's get into it quick and fast. Backstory, okay? Backstory, you all.
JZ News at 5.
Backstory.
Child abuse investigation. Police say a Baltimore County daycare owner shot her husband after learning about sexual abuse allegations. Now he's facing charges for allegedly molesting at least 3 children. Hello, everyone. I'm Vic Carter.
And I'm Denise Koch. Welcome to those of you watching on CBS News Baltimore and on WJZ-TV.
As we come on the air, that daycare owner is behind bars waiting to learn her fate. And the police say she took matters into her own hands after learning of possible sexual abuse.
Her husband, a former Baltimore police officer, survived the shooting and is now awaiting extradition to Baltimore County to face felony charges.
WJZ investigator Mike Helgan is live at the daycare in Owings Mills with the follow-up. Mike.
Vic, Denise, the daycare is closed right now. The case is gaining international attention. Police say there could be more victims, and this remains an open investigation.
It's horrible. You can't imagine what it's like as a parent to turn your child over to a stranger. And you hope and you pray that they take care of them the best that they can.
Shock outside the Little Kids Castle daycare in Owings Mills, where police say retired Baltimore City police officer James Weems Jr. abused at least 3 children. His wife, Shanteri, owned the daycare, and he worked here as a bus driver for at least 2 years.
We learned of these allegations earlier this month, and that's when our investigation was launched.
According to court documents, Shanteri Weems reported the abuse to police, but kept getting calls from parents. That's when she confronted her husband shortly after the two checked into the upscale Mandarin Oriental Hotel in Washington, D.C. last Thursday. Police say Weems told them the argument got heated, her husband moved toward her, and she shot him.
At this point, he remains in police custody, hospitalized in Washington, D.C., pending extradition.
It's kind of hard to feel sorry for him. I mean, everyone knows she shouldn't have taken the law into her own hands, but you didn't have your life upended. Her whole entire business is gone. Her reputation is gone. Her marriage is gone. Those kids are hurt. She obviously cared about them. So who knows if it was one of us, what you'd be driven to.
Shanteri Weems still faces charges in D.C. related to the shooting. Police say she wrote in a notebook that she did not want to kill her husband, just hurt him. Get justice for the kids. Supporters are using the Free Shanteri.
Could you imagine, people? So she was locked up, husband is locked up, daycare gone under, business gone under, marriage gone under, financial gone under. It's a whole wreck of like a shipyard. Oh my. Could you imagine? Like, could you even imagine? Like, you can't even badger this woman because this man was lounging at her, so she ended up saying rat-a-tat-a-tat-a-tat with some bullets. Let's hear from, so this was 2 years ago, backstory I basically gave you guys. Let's hear from the daycare owner herself, and let's get into that story some more, okay? And then we're going to get to the guilty verdict, so to speak, okay?
A daycare owner shot and nearly killed her husband at a luxurious D.C. hotel after learning he was accused of molesting children. Tonight, a WUSA 9 exclusive.
Yeah, jailhouse interview with Shantari Weems. She tells us she broke down when the man she trusted most in the world allegedly violated children who the two of them promised to protect. Bruce LaShan went into the jail to talk with her.
Hi.
So this is a jail interview.
Bruce LaShan.
Jailhouse interview.
Shantari Weems took the law into her own hands. But she says she snapped, and some supporters see her as a kind of avenging angel, seeking justice for horrible crimes against children.
I was emotional.
Her backers were stunned last month when a judge slapped the 50-year-old with a 4-year sentence.
Wow.
Twice what even prosecutors recommended in a plea deal.
Despite my surroundings, I'm doing okay. I have a lot of supporters and people who uplift me and help me survive.
Prosecutors have charged her husband, James Weems, with 33...
Could you imagine, people? So you're married to this cop to serve and protect even if they retire. You know, when they retire more time, they cannot be out there using their guns or anything like that. But you heard that in the past that police officers retire and their gun end up in a scene. But nevertheless, you all, these two married couple ran a daycare, and this man was the bus driver. This man was reading and looking at porn magazines while the children were on the bus, you all. Not only that, got locked up for molesting the children. Not only that, people, his wife got locked up for shooting him, doing 4 to 8 years in prison for shooting her husband at molesting the children. And they just found him guilty now, not too long, over almost 3 years. This case been happening in court. A retired policeman from Baltimore. It don't get no better than this, you all. Let's continue. Oh my.
counts of rape and child sex crimes.
Did you hear? 33 counts of rape and child sex crimes.
Don't let them sweep this under the rug. The man is still alive. And
right from the start, the internet was filled with support for Weems under the hashtag #FreeShantari. She shot her husband, a retired cop, twice in his room at what was then D.C.'s Mandarin Oriental Hotel, where he was staying while providing security at the Urban League convention.
Wow.
The judge said her attack on her husband was premeditated, not spontaneous, that police had told her days earlier that they were investigating him, and they'd shut down her little kid's castle in Baltimore County while they looked into the allegations of child sexual abuse.
The only person I had to find out information from was my husband.
Could you imagine?
And he kept saying he didn't do it.
And you believed him?
I did believe him.
But then, she says, the mother of one of the children, a child she'd loved and cared for years, said they had to talk.
I saw the pain in her face, and I knew that she was not lying. She finally said it was my husband.
You think about that child all the time?
All the time. I think about all the children all the time.
Just could you imagine, people? You kept the financial needs and means in the family by hiring this man to drive the bus. Remember, she could have hired somebody else to drive that bus. That man has 33 counts. Rape and all. Molesting and all. A retired Baltimore officer. So if a retired Baltimore officer can do this, then one kind of regular mankind and a regular civilian can do out here. What can go so? Could you imagine? So they found this bastard guilty as charged. Guilty as charged, you all. Guilty as charged. What did I say? Guilty as? They found him guilty of charge, okay? And at the end of the day, when you really think about it, people, this is disturbing because this lady paint out to have her business. Her business has gone down the drain, right? Her marriage has gone down the drain, right? All of that, right? And all of that. So let's get to the guilty verdict. that happened 5 days ago, so to speak, okay? So they basically found him guilty, all right? They found this man guilty, and I'm happy because look how much counts, especially that he's a police officer, right? So let's get into it some more, okay? So they found him guilty, all right?
That is the verdict a jury handed down tonight against a former Baltimore police officer.
Okay.
This is breaking news.
That breaking news at 11 o'clock, guilty on all counts. That is the verdict a jury handed down tonight against a former Baltimore police officer, James Weems, accused of molesting children at his wife's daycare. Welcome to the news at 11, everyone. I'm Rick Ritter. Weems did not appear to show any emotion in the courtroom when he learned his fate tonight, and he is at the Baltimore County Detention Center being held without bond. WJZ investigator Mike Helgert has covered this trial gavel to gavel, is in your corner tonight with what was certainly emotional reaction from the courthouse in Towson.
James Weems Jr. was immediately taken into custody. He is now facing 2 possible life sentences.
Oh, my.
The defendant in an open-collared white dress shirt walked into court before the verdict, free for the last time.
He's guilty. We got just everything. Put him where he deserves. Lock him up.
There was relief outside the courthouse after jurors found him guilty on all counts for sexually abusing, raping, and showing pornography to a girl now 12 years old.
Could you
who attended
imagine?
Little Kids Castle, the daycare his ex-wife operated in Owings Mills.
Justice for all the babies. The ones that we don't know about, the ones that we do know about, everybody.
Weems, a retired Baltimore police officer, drove the van at the daycare and admitted looking at pornography while taking the children to their schools.
Imagine
but he
that.
claimed he never intentionally showed it to them or touched anyone.
You're there.
The jury didn't buy it and believed the girl who broke down in tears following her testimony.
What do you want to say on behalf of the victim?
She's loved. She's very loved. She has a ton of support. We all have her back. We always will. She's incredibly brave.
Our heart and soul goes out to all the victims out there from that daycare. So our question becomes how long he's been doing this other than to the kids in the daycare. Because remember, he was a man of authority. He was a man that you're supposed to go to serve and protect. Not only that, does he have any hand in sex trafficking when it comes to children? And my last question is, why aren't they not looking into other cases, other places that he dealt with children? Maybe he volunteered somewhere way before he turned an officer and all of those kind of things. I catch you with another content. Peace and love. If you didn't know about the story, go look up the story. They found him guilty, the bastard, the molester, and now there's one predator off the street, and probably going to be sentenced to 2 life sentences, as you heard. And when we're getting a sentence, when it's there for sentence, I will come and revisit this content and tell you, people, here, yeah, he got sentenced for this time or how much time it is. See ya.